Hello and welcome to MasterTech. This month, we're going to discuss a feature available on more and more Chrysler vehicles, Remote Keyless Entry, or RKE. Remote Keyless Entry allows the driver to lock and unlock the vehicle without the use of a key. This is a convenience that saves time. The driver doesn't have to search for the correct key, and since the operating range of the transmitter is anywhere from 15 to 30 feet from the vehicle, the driver can unlock the vehicle before reaching it. Passengers like it because they no longer have to wait for doors to be unlocked. RKE not only facilitates door locking and unlocking, but works with other systems as well, such as illuminated entry and the vehicle theft security system. Some RKE systems now also feature a panic alarm, which can be used in emergencies. And some RKE systems work with a memory seat and mirror system, which enables the driver to program his or her favorite seat and side view mirror positions into memory. Another feature that some systems include is the horn chirp. When the doors are first locked, the horn will sound, notifying the driver. Some drivers prefer not to use the horn chirp feature. There is a procedure for horn chirp cancellation that we'll talk about later. While many vehicles are equipped with RKE, it's important to remember that not all RKE systems are alike. For example, the systems on the Cirrus, Stratus, and 1996 Minivan depend on the body control module, or BCM, for all of their door lock functions. This type of system was covered in a previous program on the 1996 Minivan body electrical system. For information about system operation or programming, refer to the April 1995 MasterTech program. Some of the Chrysler systems we'll cover in this program are independent of the BCM for all of their door lock functions, while others depend on the BCM for only part of their door lock functions. And Ram van, Wagon, and Jeep vehicles have their own systems. In addition, Mitsubishi and Diamond Star vehicles also use their own system. The RKE module receiver controls all of the door lock functions, as on some Chrysler systems. However, the RKE systems on these vehicles work with an electronic time and alarm control system that provides such functions as vehicle theft alarm. Next, we're going to take a look at the components that make up these systems and their operation on Chrysler vehicles. To keep track of the RKE systems found on Chrysler vehicles, it helps to divide them into types based on the relation to the BCM. The LH vehicles and Chrysler LeBaron GTC convertible use RKE systems that operate independently of the BCM for door lock operation. Ram van, Wagon, and Jeep systems are also independent, since these vehicles do not have body control modules. RKE systems partially dependent on the BCM for door lock function can be found on the Dodge Spirit, Plymouth Acclaim, and 1995 and previous model year minivans. No matter what RKE system we're looking at, operation is based on signals that are sent to the RKE module by way of a transmitter. Chrysler uses two types of transmitters. One type operates on radio frequency and is used on all of the vehicles we've mentioned except for Jeep. The RKE module can receive signals from up to 2 transmitters, but each transmitter must have its own code programmed into the RKE module memory. Jeep Cherokee and Grand Cherokee use an infrared transmitter. The transmitter sends a coded infrared signal to the RKE module. This system can handle up to 4 transmitters, again, each with its own code. All of the transmitters operate on 1 or 2 batteries that can be replaced with no special tools. Either remove the screw and separate the transmitter, or pry the transmitter open at the middle seam. All vehicles use an RKE module to receive the signals. The location of the module varies. On the LH vehicles, Ram van, Wagon, and the minivan, the RKE module is located under the instrument panel cover. For the LeBaron GTC convertible, Spirit, and Acclaim, the RKE module can be found behind the rear seat under the sound insulation material. And on the Cherokee and Grand Cherokee, it is under either the overhead console or dome lamp housing, whichever is available. Before an RKE transmitter can operate, its code must first be programmed into the RKE module memory. For programming, LH vehicles, LeBaron, Spirit, and Acclaim use a programming connector. The Ram van, wagon, and minivans use a programming wire. The Cherokee and Grand Cherokee, however, do not use a programming connector or wire. On LH vehicles, the programming connector is located behind the middle vent bezel housing. On the LeBaron GTC convertible, the programming wire is behind the center console trim cover. The programming connector on the Spirit and Acclaim and the programming wire on the minivan is located behind the glove box. And on the Ram van and wagon, the programming wire is under the left side of the instrument panel below the steering column. On vehicles with the BCM enables illuminated entry in response to a signal from the RKE module. On systems partially dependent on the BCM for lock operation, the BCM also activates the lock relay. The location of the BCM varies from vehicle to vehicle. For example, on the LH, the BCM is located under the instrument panel above the right kick panel. To locate the BCM on the different vehicles, refer to this month's reference book. The Ram van, wagon, Cherokee, and Grand Cherokee are unique because they have no BCM. The LH vehicles, LeBaron, Cherokee, and Grand Cherokee offer a vehicle theft security system as an option. The location of the Vehicle Theft Security Module, or VTS module, varies from vehicle to vehicle. For example, on the Spirit and Acclaim, the VTS module is located behind the glove box. If you find you need help locating the VTS module on the vehicle that you're working on, refer to the General Information section of the appropriate Body Diagnostics Procedures Manual, or Group 8Q in the Service Manual. In this segment, we'll take a look at the programming and operation of different Chrysler RKE systems, with the exception of Ram, Van, Wagon, and Jeep. As mentioned earlier, LH vehicles use a radio frequency transmitter that communicates with the RKE receiver module. However, before the transmitter can operate, it must be programmed into the receiver module memory. Let's look at the procedure on a Dodge Intrepid. First, remove the middle vent bezel from the instrument panel. If the vehicle is equipped with traction control, disconnect the black connector from the traction control switch. If the vehicle is not equipped with traction control, disconnect the black connector from the back of the middle vent bezel. Turn the ignition switch to the on position. Ground pin 4 of the traction control connector. This is the programming line for the RKE receiver module. The door locks will lock and unlock, indicating that the receiver is ready to accept the transmitter code. Press any button on the transmitter to set the code. The locks will cycle again to confirm programming. If you plan on programming an additional transmitter, it must be done at this time. Simply repeat this procedure with a second transmitter. If horn chirp cancellation is desired, at this time press the lock, then the unlock button in sequence 3 times. The door locks and trunk release will cycle 3 times to indicate that the horn chirp has been locked out. When finished, disconnect the programming line from ground. This will return the system to its normal operation mode. Connect the black connector to the traction control switch or to the back of the middle vent bezel and install the middle vent bezel on the instrument panel. The procedure for the other systems is almost the same as on the LH systems. But note that the location of the programming connector on Spirit, Acclaim, and minivans is behind the glove box. It can be accessed simply by opening the glove box door and lowering the glove box. The programming connector on the LeBaron GTC convertible is behind the center console trim cover. The center console trim cover must be removed to reach the programming connector. Now that the transmitter is ready, let's take a look at door lock operation on the system we've just programmed, beginning with the LH type system. First, notice that the driver's door unlock function works independently of the unlock relay. When locking, however, all the doors receive power through the lock relay. Pressing the unlock button on the transmitter once causes the RKE module to send power directly to the driver's door unlock motor. The motor grounds through the lock relay. At the same time, a signal is sent from the RKE module to the BCM, enabling illuminated entry. Pressing the unlock button a second time within 5 seconds causes the RKE module to send power to the unlock relay, which then connects the remaining door lock motors to power. Like the driver's door lock motor, these door lock motors also ground through the lock relay. On 1995 vehicles, pressing the trunk button twice releases the trunk deck lid by causing the RKE module to send power to the trunk release solenoid. The trunk unlock feature will not operate, however, unless the transaxle is in park and the ignition is off. This is so the trunk cannot accidentally open while the vehicle is in motion. Pressing the lock button once causes the RKE module to send power to the lock relay, which connects the door lock motors to power. The driver's door lock motor grounds through the RKE module, while all the other motors ground through the unlock relay. Pressing the lock button also causes the RKE module to send power to the horn relay, causing the horn to chirp, notifying the driver that the lock mode was activated. Now let's take a look at door lock operation on partially independent systems. The unlock function works the same way as previously described, with a driver's door lock motor receiving power from the RKE module and grounding through the lock relay. All other lock motors receive power through the unlock relay and ground through the lock relay. As on the independent systems, the unlock signal causes the RKE module to signal the BCM to enable illuminated entry. The lock function, however, works differently. When the lock button is pressed, the RKE module sends a signal to the BCM, which then activates the lock relay. As on the other systems, the driver's door lock motor grounds through the RKE module. The others ground through the unlock relay. The transmitter for the Minivan has a button for the liftgate. On 1995 models, pressing this twice causes the RKE module to send power to the liftgate release solenoid, releasing the liftgate. Next, we're going to take a look at Ram Van, Wagon and Jeep RKE systems. But first, try this review question. On systems equipped with a BCM, the BCM enables illuminated entry in response to a signal from A, the RKE transmitter, B, the RKE module, C, the VTS module, or D, the unlock relay. The correct answer is B. The BCM enables illuminated entry in response to a signal from the RKE module. Now let's take a look at the programming and operation of the RKE systems on the Ram Van, Wagon and Jeep vehicles. As I said earlier, these vehicles are different from the others because they operate without a BCM. The system on the Ram Van and Wagon is similar to the ones we've just covered, so let's begin with that. The Ram Van and Wagon use a radio frequency transmitter to signal the RKE module. Again, the transmitter will not operate until it is programmed into the RKE module memory. The programming wire is located under the left side of the instrument panel. Programming the transmitter for Ram Van and Wagon is similar to the procedure described earlier. Connect the program wire to ground, and with the ignition switch in the on position, press any button on the transmitter. Now that the transmitter is programmed, let's take a look at remote keyless entry operation for the Ram Van and Wagon. Pressing the unlock button on the transmitter once causes the RKE module to send power to the unlock relay. The unlock relay sends power to all motors, causing all doors to unlock. The motors ground through the lock relay. With the signal from the transmitter, the RKE module also provides output to the illuminated entry relay, energizing the relay, causing the interior lights to illuminate. Pressing the lock button on the transmitter once causes the RKE module to send power to the lock relay. The lock relay then sends power to all motors, locking the doors. The motors ground through the unlock relay. As mentioned earlier, the Cherokee and Grand Cherokee use a transmitter that is different from the radio frequency transmitters we've been talking about. It uses an infrared beam to signal the RKE receiver module, located in either the overhead console or dome lamp housing. Because the transmitter is infrared, it must be aimed at the approximate location of the receiver module for operation. As always, before the transmitter can function, it must be programmed into the RKE module's memory. This procedure is quite different from the one we've looked at so far. To program the transmitter code into the module, open the left front door. Then manually lock it. Next, insert the key into the ignition and turn the ignition to the on position. Within 20 seconds, aim the transmitter at the receiver module and press the lock button for a minimum of 5 seconds. A total of 4 transmitters may be used. If using additional transmitters, they must be programmed into the system at this time by depressing their lock buttons for a minimum of 5 seconds. Once programmed, the codes must be locked into the receiver module memory within 20 seconds. To do this, turn the ignition switch to off. This will cause the left front door to unlock. Then, turn the ignition switch to on again. The transmitters are now ready to use. They have an operating range of 15 feet. Operation of the Ram, Van, and Wagon system is similar in that the RKE module does not control the driver's door separately. Pushing the unlock button on a Jeep transmitter causes the transmitter to send an infrared signal to the receiver module. The receiver module then sends power to the unlock relay. The unlock relay connects the door lock motors and liftgate motor to power, causing them to unlock. In this case, all motors ground through the lock relay. The receiver module also sends a signal to the illuminated entry relay, causing the courtesy lamps and dome lamp to turn on. Pressing the lock button once signals the receiver module to send a signal to the lock relay. The lock relay then connects the door lock motors and liftgate motor to power, causing them to lock. Here, all the motors ground through the unlock relay. A vehicle theft security system, or VTSS, is an option on some vehicles that can be armed or disarmed by the RKE system. We'll be discussing this next, but first, let's have another review question. On vehicles without a BCM, for door unlock operation, all motors ground through A, the RKE module, B, the unlock relay, C, the lock relay, or D, the horn relay. The correct answer is C. The unlock relay connects the door lock motors and liftgate motor to power, causing them to unlock. In this case, all motors ground through the lock relay. The vehicle theft security system is designed to work with the RKE system, but is not dependent on it. There are 2 ways to arm and disarm the system. The first approach is called passive arming, and this occurs upon normal exit of the vehicle. When the doors are locked with the power lock switch and closed, the system will arm itself. The second method is called active arming. This requires the use of the RKE transmitter. Pressing the lock button once signals the RKE module or the BCM to send current to the door lock relay, causing the doors to lock. At the same time, the RKE module signals the vehicle theft security module, which then arms the security system. An indicator light on the instrument panel cover will illuminate, indicating the system has been armed. Pressing the unlock button once causes the RKE module to send power to either the driver's door unlock motor or to all motors, depending on the RKE system. At the same time, the RKE module sends a signal to the vehicle theft security module, which disarms the security system. In the event the alarm should sound because someone has tampered with the vehicle, pressing the unlock button on the RKE transmitter will disarm the system immediately. Next, we're going to discuss the RKE systems on vehicles built by Mitsubishi and Diamond Star. Sebring, Avenger, Stealth, Summit Wagon, and Talon use a radio frequency transmitter. The transmitter operates on 1 or 2 batteries, depending on the system. The procedure for battery replacement is the same as for the transmitters we saw earlier in the program. The transmitter sends a signal to the RKE receiver, located behind the left-hand rear quarter trim panel. The number and location of the door lock relays varies according to model. The Summit Wagon has 1 power door lock relay. All others have 2 power door lock relays. On the Stealth, relay number 1 is located in the lower part of the instrument panel to the left of the steering column. On the Sebring, Avenger, and Talon, relay number 1 is located in the center lower part of the instrument panel. On all vehicles, including Summit Wagon, relay number 2 is located in the left-hand rear quarter trim panel near the receiver module. With a signal from the transmitter, the receiver communicates with the Electronic Time and Alarm Control System, or ETACS, which performs several functions. The ETACS is located under the instrument panel to the left of the steering column. There are 2 different procedures for programming a code into the receiver memory. The Sebring, Avenger, Summit Wagon, and Talon use the data link connector, located under the instrument panel to the right of the steering column. And on the Stealth, the code is programmed directly into the receiver module. Let's begin with the programming procedure for Sebring, Avenger, Summit Wagon, and Talon. Keep in mind that the programming procedure for the Summit Wagon no longer requires the use of the DRB3 scan tool. From inside the vehicle, close both doors. Jumper pin number 1 to pin number 4 of the data link connector. Turn the ignition switch to the accessory position and then to the off position. The door locks will lock and unlock once, and then a code can be registered. Press any button on the transmitter 3 times within 10 seconds to register transmitter 1. After the receiver is programmed, the door locks will lock and unlock once. If programming a second transmitter into the receiver module's memory, the procedure must be repeated at this time by pressing any button on the second transmitter 3 times. After both transmitters have been registered, remove the jumper. Turn the ignition switch to on and open the door. Programming a code on the Stealth is unique because a switch on the receiver module must be set to accept the code. First, access the receiver, located behind the left-hand rear quarter trim panel. Notice the 3 switch positions on the receiver. Place the code programming switch in the Set 1 position. Next, press any button on the transmitter. Now place the code programming switch in the fixed position. This is the operation mode. If a second transmitter is being programmed, repeat the procedure at the Set 2 position, being sure to switch the receiver to the fixed position when you're done. Now let's take a look at remote keyless entry operation. First of all, the transmitter has a battery check feature. An indicator lamp on the transmitter illuminates when any button is pressed to verify the battery is good. As you can see, the relay coils are connected to power and depend on a ground for their operation. When they are not activated, the switches in the relays are connected to ground. Pressing the unlock button once signals the receiver module to ground one of the coils in power door lock relay 1 and connects one side of the driver's door lock motor to power, causing the driver's door to unlock. The driver's door lock motor grounds through the other side of the relay. At the same time, the receiver module signals the ETACS module, which turns on the dome lamp for 3 seconds. Pressing the unlock button a second time signals the receiver module to ground one of the coils in power door lock relay 2 and connect one side of the passenger door lock motor to power, causing the passenger's door to unlock. Again, the door lock motor grounds through the other side of the relay. Pressing the lock button once signals the receiver module to ground one side of power door lock relays 1 and 2. Power is routed to both door lock motors, causing the driver's door and passenger's door to lock. The motor is ground through the sides of the relays not activated. At the same time, the receiver module signals the ETACS module, which causes the dome lamp to blink twice. These systems also have a few added features. If any door is not opened within 30 seconds after unlocking with the RKE transmitter, the receiver automatically sends a signal to the ETACS module to lock the doors. If the key is left in the ignition or a door is left open, the system will not operate. System operation will also be suspended if the transmitter is used 30 times within 1 minute. Next, I'll give you some troubleshooting tips to help you get started if the system doesn't operate as it should. But first, let's have another review question. When programming is completed on the RKE system of the Stealth, the code programming switch on the receiver should be placed in A, the set 1 position, B, the fixed position, or C, the set 2 position. The correct answer is B. When programming is completed on the RKE system of the Stealth, the code programming switch should be placed in the fixed position. This is the operation mode. To troubleshoot the RKE system, refer to the appropriate Body Diagnostic Procedures Manual or the electrical section, Group 8, in the appropriate service manual for Chrysler systems. For Mitsubishi or Diamond Star vehicles, refer to electrical section Group 23 as well as Group 8. It's important to determine whether the trouble is with the power door lock system or with the remote keyless entry system. The preliminary check of the system in these manuals helps to isolate the trouble and provide the appropriate follow-up tests. Also, use the 6-step troubleshooting procedure as a general guide when diagnosing RKE. First of all, verify the complaint. Then check for any related symptoms. Analyze the symptom to determine what the probable cause is. Isolate the problem. Repair the problem. And when finished, check for proper operation. One item that is often overlooked when troubleshooting is the transmitter batteries. Battery life is typically 1 to 2 years, so be sure to check them. Also, be aware that strong radio frequency, such as that generated by transmitters or power stations, can interfere with RKE signals. Well, we're just about out of time now. We've covered all of Chrysler remote keyless entry systems, their components and operation. Join us next month when we'll be discussing engine measurement.